Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Happy Monday. It's September 4th, and we have the Monday market report for the weekend, for the week actually ending September 3rd, 2023. Thank you for tuning in to this video where we take a look at some of the most important highlight post 1900 modern era of graded coins to have ended. All coming in the way of GreatCollections.com, who have been one of the most impactful auction houses out there today, selling everything under the sun. And, one of the biggest areas of numismatics where they excel at are some of these registry set top pop coins. And we're seeing quite a few of them pop out into the marketplace. Could it be just a registry set being dissolved? It could be. I'm not sure. There's a lot of reasons why that we do see these on air, and then there are folks that actually go out and they grade these for themselves, and when they hit those top grades, then they're going to go ahead and consign it to the most reliable auction house that'll get the most money for those type of coins, which these days have been great collections. So we have a pretty stoic lineup of coins here. We got 24 individual lots to talk about. Pretty hefty. These MMRs have been getting really thick. And I'm glad. The market is fresh. It's expanding. We have newer, younger customers, clients, investors, collectors coming in at just the right time. And that's something that I'm very happy and very proud to see in today's numismatics market. So, wow, pretty good stuff. And I would say when I'm looking up and down the board of coins right here, we have some pretty phenomenal coins. Registry set power coins. We have some pretty pricey coins, a lot of them that once I talk about is going to leave you shaking your head. Again, I said the same thing each and every single week, but a $20,000 coin that bears the date 1957, one of the more common dates that you'll find out there. When you add all of these intangibles together, it's hard to wrap your mind around it, right? Because if there's hundreds of millions made of this one coin, but yet this particular one right here, that's not an error or a variety, it's not a rare date, it doesn't have anything else going for it other than a high grade, ends up selling for over $20,000. There's some niche right here, all right, that a lot of people, even though I've done the Monday Market Report videos for 5+ years, there's still a segment to all of this that people just don't quite understand. All right. So yeah, I look forward to jumping into this. Again, we have a pretty big lineup tonight. This is a little notification I throw out there when appropriate. I do have my weekly whatnot coin auctions. I have 2 this week. Now that we're getting back into kind of like that post Labor Day, that kind of like post back to school time of the year, where we're kind of heading into the holiday season. I am going to be integrating a second whatnot coin auction. All right, and those generally come on Tuesdays. I'd like to say that they're more lower budget, but really, I start everything at $1, and whatever they go for, they go for. And I've noticed a pretty significant jump in the amount of people that come in to bid on some of my items, and so that doesn't necessarily reflect the kind of like that true bargain kind of sense. We'll see this week. I have some really nice high quality coins that myself and my wife have come across, and would work out perfectly for this type of auction. So we'll see how that goes. So we have the Around the Globe coin auction that's going to be coming up here tomorrow, September 5th, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. And then, of course, we have our normally scheduled Friday coin auction. We call it the US type signature coin auction. We got the fall kickoff happening this coming Friday, September 7th, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. If you're not going to be at attendance at the Long Beach Expo, which is the big coin show for the week, why not hang out with your boy Blue here on Whatnot? All right, so we got this coming up. I look forward to seeing you guys. And as always, I will have the referral link down below if you are brand new to getting on this platform. I think it's way better than eBay and a bunch of other ways that you could buy or sell coins. Whatnot has been one of the kings of the instant live auction world, and I couldn't be proud to be a member of it. So come check things out. No purchase necessary, and have fun. That's why we're there. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the selections here for the week, starting out with a 1995 Lincoln Memorial cent. One of the most well-known varieties. I would say this is probably one of the best doubled dies before it stopped being great. Once we get beyond the year 2000, the doubled dies, they're class 9s and things like that. They don't look as good as these ones from yesteryear. This one right here is simply just a high-graded specimen of the FS101 doubled die obverse. You have your strongest doubling on these, of course, in the word liberty, and then the motto "In God We Trust." So those are going to be the two big focal points for this doubled die. Now, there are still quite a fair share of high ungraded specimens out there. So high grade raw examples. I think that's what I really meant to say. So you'll be able to grab one for around $50. If you grab one that is extraordinarily clean, it might be a good candidate for grading. I don't personally condone grading to any of my viewers. It's something that is quite challenging. And if you don't know your grading processes, or nor are you familiar with the Sheldon grading scale and how that all works, you might have a tough time. However, this one right here is a top pop grade. This one ended up selling for $2,976.74. Pretty good return considering that you could get one raw for around $40 to $50 in gem BU condition. Great looking coin there to start things out. And then we do have a couple proofs here this week. Let's check out this 1982S Lincoln Memorial cent proof coin. So, of course, these are only found in proof sets, which for 1982, there is a degenerate amount of these still out there in people's collections. These were a popular sell back in the day. And it's one of the higher minted dates. All right, so proof 70 is going to be the top grade we're looking at here. That, of course, is the ultimate grade in any numismatic scenario where grading is the thing. This one also has deep cameo contrast as well. So it's got the beautiful ultra frosty, kind of whitish frost devices all across the letters, and the relief of Lincoln's portrait and the memorial, highlighted and contrasting against that just powerfully black, kind of like jet black icy fields. Razor sharp, very slick, and this one right here is just a beauty. Now, 82S is one of the more available dates out there in a perfect 70. All right, so there's definitely no shortage of this. However, it's still a pretty valuable coin. This one ended up selling for $1,249.88. All right, we have a few very, very tough 1950s Philadelphia minted powerhouses here. Starting out with the 57. This is that coin I was alluding to earlier. Like, many hundreds of millions of this date were produced. Yet this one managed to sell for a grip. Let's first talk about the grade. You got to be at 67 plus red. This one is also CAC certified as well, with that green hologram sticker there on the label. This one ended up selling for $21,947.62. When you put that into perspective, it's essentially like a brand new car from a coin where the mint didn't exactly the gloves were off when they minted this. There was a lot of them. 57D, of course, is the more plentiful of the two mintages, but really, the Philadelphia minted coins suffered from one thing, and that's why these are a lot more challenging than first realized. The quality of the planchets. Right? You have to find one that is undeniably clean, and these have a polarizingly differing appearance from the Denver minted coins, which just look ultra sharp. You're just not seeing that on any of the Philadelphia coins. Same with this one here. It's a 54. This one is a little bit brighter red than the previous example. They both look gorgeous, by the way. This one, again, is a top pop grade at a 67 red. Very challenging set of coins to look for and grade for yourself. It's almost maddening, when you think you have something that's the beacon of perfection and it ends up coming back as 66. It's like you wasted money there. These coins have virtually no safety net, so you need the top grade, or it's all for naught. This particular coin right here is sold for $9,599.42. Again, kind of like signifying just the difficult nature of finding these in the top grades. And then also we have a 1950 here as well. I mean, they grouped this along with the previous two coins, and it pretty much sums up what the Philadelphia minted 1950s Lincolns represent. Just straight up hot garbage, and last time I looked, BU rolls of any of these dates are quite expensive. They're getting up there in that $20 to $40 range, depending on date. 1950, 51, and 52 are the three toughest out of all of them. So this time we have a MidState 67 plus full red. This one right here has a fair amount of what looks to be scratches on the reverse, but in reality they're die file lines. So a mint employee at one time had cleaned up that reverse die, maybe due to a clash or something to that effect. So that's what that is. But overall, again, a really nice period piece here that shows just amazing reflectivity. The luster is really nice for a 1950s dated coin. And this one ended up selling for $8,870.62. Now, quite a bit different in terms of quality between this and the previous, 5 coins that we talked about. But where this one lacks in grade, it's where the variety that comes into play here that makes it, a much more approachable coin to look for. Of course, you got to still cherry pick one out of like a BU roll or out of an old album that someone didn't know was a pretty nice variety. But this is a doubled die obverse FS101 on the 1941P. It's a Philly coin. This one grades PCGS MidState 65 red. I believe this is not the top grade of this. I think 66 or 6 plus is the top grade for a 41 FS101. But a lot of your main doubling is on that date right there. You can see a little bit on Liberty as well, and the motto, "In God We Trust." Those are the 3 main areas on this coin. So yeah, check that out. That is a 65 coin. A few spots, especially on the reverse. Could kind of like attract the eye to those areas. It's not the perfect coin. This one sold for $1,040.62, which is still a very nice sale. 1937D, we're coming up here toward the tail end of the Lincoln cents of this MMR. We have this one here, which Denver minted coins of the 30s are pretty well struck, especially when you get, somewhere like mid-decade, 34, 35, the business really picks up on the quality department. So what we have here is just an unbelievable MidState 68 red through PCGS. It's even got the gold shield on there. Beautiful, stunning coin. This one is going to end up in some high-powered Lincoln registry set that ended up selling for $8,268.75. One of the beauties on today's list. And then the Final Lincoln cent for the week is this 1935. Again, it's a very available date. It's not rare at all. It's a great looking coin. And this one, again, is another 68 by PCGS. Again, just a really superb looking piece. All original. No contact marks or anything major to speak of. Nothing really distracting about it. This one sold for $8,325. Again, another major milestone in some of these high-powered Lincolns. Okay, now we're on the nickels. The big selling factor here with a lot of these is rarity of date compared to the strike designation. All right, there's a few decades where the nickels just really struggled mightily, with the quality. 50s and 60s are the 2 decades where we see a lot of just terrible strikes, a lot of mushiness, deteriorated dies, a lot of things of that nature. Now we have one of the more fair-looking coins that I've seen quite a while on a 1968's, which is an incredibly tough date, guys. This one right here, PCGS assigned a MidState 65 full steps. Keep in mind, when PCGS grades a Jefferson nickel on full steps, the coins have 6 steps. The qualifier is 5 steps or higher. All right, so this one has at least 5 steps, and they look really sharp, and especially on a 68's, that is damn near impossible to see. This one sold for $1,912.50. Where this thing really cooks is in like 66, 66 plus, and 67. This is a coin that's worth easily 5 figures or higher. Here's a 59D. Again, another really nice sharp coin. 59Ds are just okay. They're not the toughest out of the 50s dates. And Denver's tend to be a little bit better. So we have a coin here that PCGS assigns a 66 full steps grade on this one. I mean, it looks good from my eyes. Nothing too crazy here. This one sold for $2,044.12. And here's also a 56, a much more brighter coin. I would say this one looks pretty good. The luster isn't nearly as strong on this one compared to some of the other coins I've seen. NGC this time, getting in on the action. This one ended up as a MidState 67 plus. Wow, that's kind of a lofty grade for this date. 5 full steps. All right, so NGC assigns either 5 or 6 full steps. Of course, for the market, 6 full steps is definitely where you need to be, and will command is appropriate amount of premium for it. This one sold for $2,081.25. And one of the junkiest dates of the 1950s decade for nickels has to be a 53S. Okay, it's right up there with the 55 and 55D, but by really close margins. As you can see, look at the strike on this one, and you'll see why. So it must be notable when a coin only manages to hit a 64 with full steps, where this thing even begins to have a consideration on a Monday market report list. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we're looking at here. So this one, I mean, if this isn't proof that this is a difficult date, I don't know what is. But this one ended up selling for $2,643.75, $2,600 for a 64 graded coin. Where else in the world of modern coins will you find another one or a similar type of date, of any coin, any denomination, where it will command that kind of money in a 64? Yeah, pretty crazy. So we also have a 42S, which these are just high quality to begin with. Anything to the Silver Wartime era is fantastic. Now, they call this a Type 2. For 1942, the U.S. Mint produced both regular nickel composition nickels and also the wartimes. So the wartime silvers are the Type 2. The regular nickel compos are Type 1s, just so you guys are aware. So just a really great looking piece here. It's got a little bit of color, in the periphery area, especially on the reverse, and then certain areas on the obverse as well. This one ended up selling for $2,754, and just a really outstanding piece. The wartime silvers just look really sharp when they're this high. And we do have a couple buffaloes to note here today. We have a 1937 common date. I mean, crazy, but high graded specimens, especially in a 68 or higher, are that's it, guys. These will still be highly sought after, not only by buffalo registry owners, but also investors and just armchair collectors of such. So just a stunner, very well struck, lots of luster here. This is like one of the perfect pieces I've seen in quite a while of a buffalo nickel. Ended up selling for $6,243.75. This is a high mintage date. They're quite available. And if you wanted to pick one up in BU condition, you could do that for around $30-$40. What you can't do that is on a 2070. All right, this is just one of the tougher dates and mint marks. 1920s have been traditionally plagued with just overall quality and strike issues. And you could say that is the same across the board on all denominations of coins. This one right here ended up selling for $10,125 at the end of the day. MidState 66 through NGC is the grade on this one. All right, we have a few dimes, and 1955 Rosie is a rarity with a deep cameo contrast. They usually don't look like this, where you have that nice frosty devices. You got to make sure they're on both sides. This is not a 50-50 coin. But those fields are particularly mirrored out to the next level. This is something that probably exists on less than a fraction of a percent of the entire run of 55 proofs. They're just non-existent. And yet we're staring at one grade point away from perfection, and that coin does not exist. There's no 70s of this particular date, and we have a 69 deep cameo. You guys will be happy to know that this one ended up selling for $12,937.50. This is about a $10 to $15 coin raw. The actual 55 proof sets today generally commanded in that kind of like $80 to $100 range. If a coin shop has it and they have a higher price tag, more than likely there's going to be a cameo coin in there. And a few common date Mercury Dimes. Again, we're levying the high grades here. Here's the 1943. Of course, this date is like widely available anywhere you go. Any coin shop or show will have a ton of these raw. MidState 68 full bands through NGC is the grade on this one. Simply stunning, just very clean, and a perennial favorite of mine. So this one sold for $3,350.25. And a 42S, although the S-Mint 40s Mercury Dimes, they're a little bit tough with the full bands designation, similar to the strike on the Walking Liberty half dollars. Can be a little tough. So this one right here is a 68 full bands, just as nice as the 43 we saw before it. And the final hammer on this one was $5,970.38. Again, that's a pretty good flip there, especially if you're able to cherry pick one of these at a coin shop. We have a few quarters and a half dollar and an Ike dollar to wrap things up. So the big kind of like reference coin for the week is this 1968D. Beautiful gem. The variety, which is a doubled die reverse. It's also known as the FS801 in the Cherry Picker's Guide. Incredibly important coin. Shows major doubling, and you can probably see that fuzziness on quarter dollar and United, and then also other parts of United States of America as well. These things were, unsearched and ignored for a long time. All right, it wasn't until about the turn of the century where collectors were beginning to pay more attention to these. Okay, we're like beyond the whole like they don't make 90% silver anymore, so I'm not gonna like these quarters. That's not simply true now. All right, it's like nobody saved the 1960s quarters in high grades. There's not like an overabundance of rolls of these that exists. So that's kind of where the rarity comes into play here, because a lot of the coins are pretty well circulated. So if you do come across one of these big varieties, and there's a number of them from 1965 to 1970, I mean, congratulations. These are a heck of a find, and if you grade them out and they come out anything north of a 64, you're going to enjoy a pretty nice windfall. So this one right here sold for $2,812.50. Again, sometimes it's not about the top pop or the grade here. It's just finding one. And even circulated examples of any of these major cherry pickers guide varieties will be a big sale. Even at the lowest, if it's a beater, it's sold for $100. Man, that's going to be a very, very good sale. One that you'll be proud of. Yeah, I mean, this one's here strictly for the toning. 1961 is the date on this one. MidState 67, not the highest grade, and that's okay. I mean, there's a lot of extra bonus points that go the way of this coin because of that toning. A very attractive, very nebulous piece. And this one sold for $2,281.24. There was also a couple standing libs, two very tough dates. 1920D, I mean, I don't have to tell you guys, if it's not a 28, 29, or 30, they're all pretty tough, all right? And we have one here. This one is a MidState 66, just simply a blast white example, gorgeous coin. As short of a series as this is, there's still a lot of challenge and joy into it. This one sold for $4,275. Great piece. 1918, no frills here. It's just a Philadelphia minted 18, which, doesn't say a whole lot. It's still pretty tough to find in high grades because these weren't saved at all during the time. Beautiful, beautiful piece. The eagle is very well struck, and it's nice to see one where it's not, a lot of like die clashing or any die deterioration. This one is a very well struck example. This one is a 66 full head through PCGS and another blistering sale, $6,276.38. And the last couple coins are the big sized ones. 1978 half dollar here. Kennedy is made for a registry. You guys really didn't need to know that because you'll see like 78. What? What's this doing here? MidState 67 plus. Again, the challenge here is that these coins are big. They're kind of a target for all sorts of contact marks, and you just don't see them this clean. So, someone obviously did some hunting around to find this one here, and it ended up selling for $3,125.25. Such a big reward after all that work of, just turning over every rock to find this thing. And I like this one. It's got a nice little olive toning to it. 1972 Type 1 reverse. I guess what do they call these? Like Friendly Eagle, or is that 71? I don't know. But anyways, there's a number of varieties and high-graded specimens of some of these varieties, especially on 72. You have Type 1, Type 2, and Type 3. All right, so you got three different reverse types, and it's all, I guess, revolving around the Earth on the reverse and what you can see as far as islands and all sorts of cool stuff. Incredibly clean. I mean, you can see the fields all around Ike's, bust right there, and just know that this thing is a monster. 66 plus again with this one. To the toning adds a lot of desirability to it, and this is the one coin where I'm shaking my head because it did end up selling for $9,562.50. There are some like other silver dollar rarities that don't even sell for what this one sells for. 34S, Peace Dollar is one. If you had like a MidState, 65 or 65 plus, it might end up being about the same price as this, which, if you had two coins, each coin in your hand, which one would you pick? So it's definitely a crazy world we're living in, where some of these just crazy ultra modern coins end up selling for as much as some of the classics. It's like I would rather have 4 nice graded St. Gaudens, $20 double eagles than this thing. Again, that's the comparison, the association of two. It's like apples and oranges. And it's always going to be like that with registry sets. Well, we've come to the conclusion. So, of course, it's everything that you're seeing here today is for entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. We're just having fun looking at the market here and what people are making as a result. Please do collect and grade responsibly. I always have to keep adding that in there as a caveat. So make sure you keep those two things in mind. Always put the hobby out in front as such, and everything else will come your way if you want to become a dealer or just a reseller. That's it, guys. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to today's video if you enjoy the content. I appreciate your guys' time. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Enjoy the first week of NFL football, because that is here. And I will see you guys next time. Take care now.